Okay, everything is set up very differently now. Alright, we will see if this one works. Maybe, hopefully. Yep, here we go again. I hope you guys can hear me this time. Hello. Can you guys hear me okay? I hope you can. Yes, cool. Awesome. Oh, thank goodness. All right, so normally when I stream, I use a different software. So, but it didn't seem to like it. It didn't seem to like it that time. So, just using the default stuff. It's been a while since I've streamed with my webcam, so I'm gonna finish putting up a couple more things. Make sure I get the live chat running on my phone so you can see it a bit easier. All right. There we go. All right. So, okay, now that technical difficulties are in the way. Hey everybody, Nika Ninja here, and welcome to my 60 subscriber special. Now this is something I've been wanting to do for honestly a while now, but just because of a bunch of technical difficulties, as some of you may have seen from earlier today, I've had to keep postponing it, until I could figure out a way to make this work. And even then, I can't guarantee that everything's going to go okay, so we'll just have to hope for the best. But today I'm going to be showing at least some of my Bakugan collection. Of course, I have to state right away. I do not, all rights to Backagon goes to Spin Master respectively. I don't own anything regarding the show or the toys or anything like that. I am just a really big fan, and I have a huge collection. I kind of just really wanted to show today. Oh, hey, Sky, it's good to see you there. Yeah, the giant Backagon. Yeah, don't worry, I'll be getting to those. So I guess where should I start? I guess the first thing I could start with is what Bakugan are. Backagon are these tiny little marbles. Again, I apologize for the camera quality, but they're these small little marbles that when you place them on a magnet, they pop open into a little monster. As seen here. This little guy is called Dragonoid. He is the first Bakugan that appeared on that appeared in one of the first that appeared in the show, and he's personally one of my favorites. Backagon come in all different shapes and sizes, and even in different elemental colors. Just to give you an idea, so there are 6 attributes. The red is for Pyrus, so the fire attribute. Then we have blue for Aquos, the water attribute. I happen to have this one in its box because honestly I think it's a really nice display piece. And then we have Ventus, the wind attribute, which is colored in green. We have Subterra, the earth attribute. We have Chaos, the attribute of light. And finally, we have Darkus, the attribute of darkness. Personally, growing up, Darkus has always been my favorite attribute. That's the reason why I started with a Darkus Dragonoid. Yeah, they're the way that Backagon more or less worked, at least in terms of the toys, was you actually had a there's actually a sort of card game that you would play, where each person would have 3 Backagon. You'd roll them out onto the card, and whoever has the highest power printed on the Backagon is the winner. And you could try to mess with the numbers a little bit by using different types of cards and seeing what kind of bonuses you could get. It was a very, very simple and very, very fun game. But for a lot of kids like me growing up, I really got into Backagon based on the TV show. The original run of Backagon went for 4 seasons in total. It started with Backagon Battle Brawlers, which is where Dragonoid first debuted. Then we had Backagon New Vestroya, season 2. Third season was Backagon Gundalian Invaders, and then the last season was called Mectanium Surge, though it was a little weird because it was split into 2 mini seasons. And it also just happens to be the season that I don't like talking about because it was terrible. It's what I think ultimately killed off Backagon's original run. But several years have passed since then, and of course, they've actually brought back Backagon in a rerun series. This one is from the first season of the reboot called Backagon Battle Planets. This is also a Dragonoid, a Darkest Dragonoid. And you can see there's quite a bit of a difference in there. Here's a close-up look of him. This is the new Darkest Dragonoid. And one thing you could take notice here is the Backagon are all even different sizes as the series went on. When Backagon first debuted, they started in these small little marble sizes. We called them the B1 lineup or the B1 series. So they're very tiny, and many of them even had their magnets on the bottom exposed. Of course, this caused a bit of a controversy because people were worried that kids could get a hold of the magnets easy. So they later on introduced the B2 series. These are a larger size Backagon with the magnets on the bottom covered. And by the way, this guy is also a Dragonoid. If I could get him open. There we go. As they get older, their magnets can wear down, so it's a little harder for them to open. And here's a Pyrus Dragonoid. This is the type of Dragonoid that appeared in the first season of the show. So in the show, he was called Drago for short. All right, I think I got all the basics out of the way. Yeah. I believe I got all of the basics out of the way. So what's going to happen now is I'm just gonna show you, well, really just some of the, I guess, the most interesting ones in my collection. I'm not going to show my entire collection, and that's just because this video will probably go on for about 4 hours if I did. I'll probably put up a picture like after the stream, just to show you guys how big the collection has gotten at this point. I'm not joking. My entire collection could probably take up this entire table, and then some. But you know, so I'm just going to show you the best of my collection. Which one's my favorite? Oh, that's actually a hard question. I have a lot of favorites. Personally, one of my favorites from the first season of Backagon is this one right here. This is Wyvern. It's a female dragon, and it was Drago's love interest in Backagon season 1. Now, in the show, Wyvern was a pure white dragon with these light pink markings on it. This one's just event colored. So yeah. But I do have one very special Backagon that a lot of collectors will easily recognize. So I'll just pop him open here. This is Wyvern's twin brother, Naga. But more specifically, this particular Naga figure is an exclusive one that you could only get if you got the DS version of the Backagon video game. So they're not too. I mean, there's a decent number of them out there, but they do go for a high price point at this rate. But they're he's probably one of my favorites just because he has some of his original show coloring. So he's a very pretty dragon and a very mean dragon in the show. All right, I'll try my best to run through all of these in order based on the season that they're in, but you know, I already kind of broke that rule by showing off some of the newer stuff. But here, let's just get right into it. So this is a Helios Griffin. It's a B1 Backagon from season 1. You can just, I think he's kind of the perfect example just to show how tiny these things are. The B1s were very, very small. And they're just, to me, they're just adorable because of how small they are. Let's see. I have a few special ones in here. I'm just debating which one I should pick. Here's another Wyvern, actually. This was the dual attribute gimmick that they did in season 1, where they would literally combine the colors and the attributes of the Backagon in order to give them, you know, double bonuses in a battle. So it made the game slightly unfair for some people, but I thought it was a lot of fun. Let's see. Right up here, we have another classic Backagon. This little guy is called Aquos Juggernaut. Dragonoid. He's a giant tortoise, more or less. I personally love how his little head just pops out of his shell when he opens. It's just very cute to me. He's a B1 figure, so he's very, very small. Another fan favorite is this is an Aquos Pyrus. Pyrus is one of the Backagon, one of the protagonist Backagon in season 1 and later returning in later seasons. What makes Pyrus unique is that he has a small dial or a small little switch up on the top of him right here. So what happens is every time he opens up, there's a dial on the front of him that will change his attribute every single time he opens. So in Pyrus, with the case for this Pyrus, he could be Aquos, he could be, I believe it's Ventus, and he could also be Darkus if you wanted to. He made for a very fun, a very fun strategic battle, if a bit randomized. He was a lot of fun. This is one of the Backagon that personally I find to be the most terrifying. This is El Condor. I can't really describe what he is other than a skull with these little dangling arms and legs. Yeah, he just has these eyes that just stare straight into your soul. So I have always found him very unnerving. Let's see. Speaking of unnerving, I believe this is one here. Which is my most overpowered? Oh boy. That's one of those situations where I would have to kind of explain that for every season of Backagon, they increase just the base power that every Backagon has. So what ends up happening is you could start with a Dragonoid that has 470 base power, but then you would get to, say, a Dragonoid from season 4 that would have over 10,000 base power, which makes them painfully unfair to use in later battles. But that's just kind of how things went as the seasons went on. With the reboot, they did try to reset the power scale. But honestly, it is very, very easy to still break that power limit. I believe the highest one I have currently is, I believe it's a Helios Backagon in the new series, in the reboot series, and I believe the highest number it can reach is about 2,700. So just a little powerful. But part of the, but they did one thing that they did try to do, at least for the reboot, is they still try, even with the high number, they tried to make it more fair by implementing a new card game entirely. So they got rid of the basic toy line game, and they instead replaced it with a full 40-card deck system that you'd use. So there's a lot more strategy put into the new game now. I still love opening this guy up, and you just see this eyeball staring right back at you. It's called Clear, and he freaked a lot of people out in season 1. But I personally think he's really, really cool. Probably the funniest thing to me, though, was in the show, he doesn't speak. He can't talk in the show. The only way he can communicate is by blinking. So his existence is to just stare at people and blink. He was a very interesting character. So here we have. Personally, this was one of my favorites growing up. There we go. In season 1, this is a Paragonoid, more or less a gargoyle creature. But I liked them a lot because I actually used him a lot in the Backagon video game. He makes for a very good defender Backagon. So I also love these horns that just pop right up. Just makes them look nice and vicious. This is one of the special Backagon that I got. This is from season 1. This Backagon here is called Harpus, but this is one of the special variants that you could find. This is what's called a clear Backagon. Clear Backagon function in a very odd way. If you roll this Backagon out, and it lands on a card with an enemy Backagon, this Harpus would become the same attribute as the opponent. So if my opponent was Darkest, for example, this Harpus would turn into a Darkest Backagon. It made for, honestly, a very fun, if very challenging type of battle, but I enjoyed it a lot. Let's see. I might as well show some of the other interesting ones here. So this is another rare type of Backagon. This is called a Pearl Backagon. This guy is dual Hydronoid, a Ventus dual Hydronoid, so a 2-headed dragon. But he has a very nice little pearl coloration. It's like Harpus is the clear Backagon do copy more or less the attribute. Bird's not Backagon. Yeah. I did bring little Bird here today, just because I figured I let him join in on the stream. He's been very happy today. I also have Bronwyn here in the background. If anyone's actually noticed that, she's just chilling, just watching the whole scene unfold and this huge mess that I have to clean up afterwards. But it's fine. Oh boy, there we go. So in the show, actually, Hydronoid dual Hydronoid looked a lot like this. It was a darkest Backagon, which I think was a very good choice. So he looked terrifying in the show, and I loved him for it. And he was very, very powerful for his time. Now, one thing that I do have to point out is a reoccurring theme in Backagon is evolution. So when Drago reaches a certain power limit in the show, he would evolve into a new stage, basically. So in an odd way, I guess it was a bit like Pokemon, but these evolutions were a lot more difficult to achieve, I suppose. So I'll start off this little evolution trend with my Delta Dragonoid. This is the evolved form of a Dragonoid, and this is a Pearl variant, so he looks very, very pretty. I do have to point out, I do quite like the Delta Dragonoid in particular because it has this metal ring that goes around its base. There's no reason for it, but it makes him look really cool. Speaking of Delta Dragonoid, I do have another one. This is the B2 version of Delta Dragonoid. He also has the metal ring around his base, but this is what he would have looked like in the show. So, a fiery red, very strong looking metal encased dragon. I believe that is all that I have, at least out from season 1. So we're going to go. So with that being said, we're just going to go right into season 2. At the start of season 2, the Dragonoid gets another evolution. This is the most common Dragonoid you could find, at least for me growing up. I would find this Dragonoid everywhere, so it's very easy to get a hold of them. Got your first at 5 to 7 years. Ooh. I believe I got my first Backagon when I was, I think, yeah, it was like, I believe I was 8 years old or something like that. That was when I first got mine. I just found it in a shopping cart. Honestly, that was a similar situation to me. My local Walmart was desperately trying to get rid of as many Backagon as they could because they were overstocked with them. So I ended up picking up one of these guys. But here is the Pyrus Neo Dragonoid. It's, in my opinion, the first major change that they did to the Backagon design as a whole. The Backagon in season 2, they were a little more complex. They had head that would pop out. You could move the head points and all that fun stuff. They had a bunch of gimmicks in there as well. Like some of these Dragonoids you could wind up, and when you put them down, they would spin as they open. Again, no reason to it. They just did it because they wanted to try it. But yeah, they tried a whole bunch of weird things in Backagon, and of course, since I'm more of a darkest person, I had to get myself a darkest Neo Dragonoid. Because in my opinion, darkest Neo Dragonoid looks much better than the Pyrus version. That's just my biased opinion, though. But this is the darkest Neo Dragonoid. I quite like him a lot. I don't know. To me, it's the black, purple, and the red that it goes very well together. Let's see. Season 2. Yep. Gaming colors, yes. Speaking of gimmicks, I happen to have one of the weird gimmicks that they did from season 2. Backagon traps. Backagon traps were support Backagon that were anything but round. Like this one was an odd, I guess you could say, coin shape. Others were pyramids, some were cubes, and they were just all different kinds of various shapes. This little guy's called Scorpion. You just drop him directly onto the card, and he'd pop open like this. So this is an Aqua Scorpion, and the way that Backagon traps work in the game is when you drop them onto a card with an ally Backagon, your ally Backagon can change to match the trap's attribute. Yeah, Scorpion was a very popular trap Backagon when he came out. He was actually given to the main protagonist to start the new season as well. The protagonist, Dan, that was his name, a Pyrus one. And it had some very interesting abilities in the show. Let me see. Yeah, Pyrus is the red variant, and that's the one that you actually would see in the TV show. I just happen to have an Aquos. That was one that I believe I got as a Christmas present at one point. Now let's see here. Who else is season 2? I think that's all the ones I got out from season 2, and that's just because. Well, actually, no. I take that back. I do have some of the other weird but kind of cool little gimmicks here. But in season 2, they also introduced what were called mechanical Backagon. These were the enemy Backagon in season 2. This one is called Altair and Wired. This is actually 2 Backagon that are sticking together. It's a very weird design. It looks a bit cooler in the show though, but yeah, in the toy form, it just stands like this. It's very weird. I'm not sure why they designed it this way, but either way, in the show it looked a bit cooler, at least in my opinion. But personally, I'd say Scorpions. Yeah, they can be. If that one is okay, if that one is wired. What made all the others before it work? Well, according to the show, these 2 were the first mechanical enemy Backagon that were made. So here are 2 Backagon separate. This is Altair. It's a dragon, mechanical dragon, and then Wired right here is a mechanical bird. Yeah, and they literally just combine together to make this sort of mecha dragon of sorts. So, yep. Yeah, it was a very weird feature, and this particular sort of combination or putting Backagon together only worked for these 2. There were no others that like it that were ever released. So I got lucky when I got 2 Pyrus ones. The ones in the show are Ventus, but it's very hard to find an Altair and a Wire that are the same attribute. It just doesn't look. It looks even worse, in my opinion, if they're mixed attributes. But the big highlight of season 2 had been Maxis Dragonoid and Maxis Helios. So I'll pull out Maxis Dragonoid just for the sake of it. But this is a Maxis Dragonoid. He is a Neo Dragonoid and 6 trap Backagon all combined together. honestly, I still think this is one of the coolest things that they ever did in the Backagon toy line. They haven't made anything like this since, and I genuinely wish that they did more stuff like this. It was really unique. But just to give you an idea, it actually is a figure that comes apart. So here, this is one of the arms, for example. It's actually just a mechanical Paganoid that flips over, and you can just pop it into whoops, there he goes into the Dragonoid and makes this giant mech suit basically. So now I've had this one for years, and mercifully he has withstood the test of time. However, on the other hand, we have Max's Helios. In my opinion, I think this one's a lot cooler. Max's Helios here features the villain, Cyborg Helios, a cyborg dragon, with six mechanical trap Backagon as well. But he just becomes this gigantic mecha dragon when he's combined together as one. So yeah, he looks really cool, and I've always liked him. Unfortunately, if you're wondering why he's sitting on a card, that's because he's actually broken apart he breaks apart very easily. So I have to kind of just keep him like this to make sure that he doesn't fall apart as I carefully send him over here. Yeah. Max's Dragonoid and Max's Helios were easily the best part of season 2, in my opinion, and it was a lot of fun watching the fight scene in the show. So yeah, I won't give any spoilers. There's actually quite an interesting story behind the villains in particular in season 2. So, oh goodness. But with that being said, I believe I got everything done. Actually, yeah, I actually did get everything this time. So I'm just going to go straight into season 3, which season 3 happens to have one of my personal favorite Backagon that they have released. Let's just pull one right out. In my opinion, season 3 actually has the best designs that Backagon has ever come up with. They really went all out in terms of what you could make a little sphere turn into. So this is one of my personal favorite Backagon, and he is called Barak. He is a European dragon style Backagon. Of course, let me get his feet out just to show that off. So there he is. This is a vintage Barak. I personally, I don't know, it might just be me, but I personally just adore this design more than most other Backagon, really. Even the wing patterns on him, I think, are great. And just to give you an idea, I've grown to love Barak so much that I was determined to have one of every single attribute, and I ended up doing that. So that was a Ventus. Here is a Sapera Barak, which I think is a very nice color mix. Of course, I showed you over here. This is an Aqua Barak. Specifically, this is a Walmart exclusive version of the Aqua Barak, so he has a very unique color scheme. Now, if you're a fan of Pyrus Backagon, I know a lot of people will really love this particular Barak. This one is called the Crimson and Pearl Barak. It's a special Pyrus Barak that was only available in Target stores. And yeah, he has some of the prettiest paint I've ever seen on a Backagon. So he's a very nicely colored Backagon. Of course, my personal favorite, of all of the Daraks that I've collected is this one. This is the Wind Darak. It's a Helios Darak, but it's another special variant. Only a few of these were really ever released, but I think it just has such a beautiful color pattern. Just a pure white with some light blue on it. I think it just works. It works very, very well. And of course, in the show, we have our Darkest Darak. The Darkest Bralkest Darak. This is the one that appears one of the ones that appears in the show. So he was the villain of season 3 specifically. And while I have this Darak out, I might as well show what the gimmicks that they introduced in season 3. So in season 3, they introduced Helios Dragon. In season 3, they introduced another new mechanic. Oh god, it just popped open. They introduced another new mechanic called Battle Gear. This is another support piece for Backagon, but unlike Backagon traps, Battle Gear will literally go on to Backagon. So, for example, with Darak here, I can push on his wings like so. And then you pop on his little battle gear, maybe. Well, the magnet isn't very good, but more or less what's supposed to happen is when you drop it onto the Backagon, right here, it will pop open into this honestly very nice looking armor. So I think Darak's battle gear is one of the coolest in my opinion. It's a type of wing armor basically, and it was one of the best ways I think in order to add like a little bit of support to your Backagon. It adds an extra little power boost. Nothing that's too overpowered. It's just a nice little bit of support. Goodness, I'm already losing my voice. Oh well, that's fine. All right, what should I start with? Yeah, I think it's very pretty. Here's another season 3 Backagon. I remember as a kid, I liked this one a lot. Personally, this one is called Helios Lumagrowl. So it is a 6-tailed dog Backagon. So again, I think the design for it was just really, really cool. So I liked it a lot. And before I forget, I do have Darak's evolved form. This one's called Phantom Darak. And if you wanted to get a hold of a Phantom Darak, you would have to look to Japan. You see, many Backagon were there were several special Backagon that were only made available in Japan. They never released them in America. So for kids like me growing up, I never had the chance to get a hold of a Phantom Darak until many years later. But pop them open like this, and there's Phantom Darak. I think his ball form is very, very neat. Very strange looking, but very unique. And now, of course, we'll get into the big boys of the season 3. This right here is, well, I believe it was called Exicor. Yeah, Exicor. Exicor is a mechanical Backagon that appears in season 3. And basically what would happen is when you placed a Darak onto your Exicor, it would pop open into this giant, mech suit. Unfortunately, mine doesn't really work anymore. This originally belonged to my sister, but she has since given it to me, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem to work. So, but it's another nice part of the collection that I'm very happy to have. All right. But of course, the one that sold more, naturally, was related to Dragonoid. Now, by this point in the show, Dragonoid had evolved a few times, actually. So, this is Dragonoid's new form in Season 3. This is Helix Dragonoid. A very, very neat looking change there. He's also evolved a few more times since then. Here's actually his next evolution in Season 3, which was called Lumino Dragonoid. It looks a lot like Helix Dragonoid, but personally, I love the this pure silver accent on him. Silver horns and feet. I think it looks really nice. All right. But here now we'll get into probably the part that a lot of kids like me remember from growing up. This is Dragonoid Colossus. This was the big highlight of Season 3. It's a huge mechanical dragon that is capable of holding 4 different kinds of battle gear, as well as a Dragonoid. So, in this case, I already have him closed up with 3 of the battle gear on him. So, I'm just going to pop his legs up. Hopefully he'll stand. He has an interesting little ratchet mechanic in his legs, which allows him to stand very, very firmly, which is really good if you want to open up a Backagon like this. So I'll just kind of open up his horns here. All right, so of course, here's the fun part. You take your Backagon, in this case, I'll use Lumino Dragonoid, and you drop him right here. Yep. Probably one of the coolest openings in my opinion. Yeah. And I'll just pull his wings back right here. But yeah, he not only does his wings and head open up, but all of the other battle gear that you add onto him will open up as well. So, of course, you turn over the tail like that. Here's his last battle gear. Unfortunately, it doesn't on him very well, so that's why I saved it until after this. Like I said, doesn't stick on well. There we go. But yeah, here is the complete Dragonoid Colossus. He's a really big boy. one of the largest Backagon that I own, but not the largest. Send him right over here. All right. I believe that is everything from Season 3. And so we're gonna go right into Season 4. Now, just as a heads up, I don't have that many Season 4 Backagon because, like I said, I've never really been interested. I was never really interested in Season 4. Season 4 was Mectanium Surge, and they added, in my opinion, they added way too many gimmicks at that point. Oh, geez, there it goes. One of the weird things that they introduced, it was kind of Season 3 and Season 4, was mobile assault vehicles. This is one of them. I believe the name of this one is called Raphius. This looks like a donut almost. But the way it works is, you know what, I'll go ahead and I'll use Lumino Dragonoid for this. Because why not? It'll look pretty cool when he pops open. Her ring. let's see. Will he close? There we go. Backagon donut. All right. I have no idea if I'll put him in properly. It's been a while since I've used this. The way it works is you stick your little Backagon in there. Pray that it doesn't pop open while you do so. And when you play the game anyways, what you're supposed to do is roll it across the table and hope that it lands on the card. In my case, I'm just going to drop it onto the card so you guys can see it. I'm gonna move some of these out of the way because it's pretty big when it opens. So here we go. Yep, there we go. Because Dragonoid. He doesn't fit in it very well, unfortunately. But yeah, this is the Raytheus mobile assault vehicle, giant motorcycle, I guess. It's really cool, though. Honestly, when it pops open, though, it's really cool. I like it. You know, a lot of people have liked it a lot. So, all right. So, and now we'll just get right into season 4. I believe I have only 3 Backagon that I'll show anyways from season 4. I'll start off with let's kind of start off with the Dragonoid, of course. This was the last evolution introduced to Dragonoid in Mechanism Surge. Personally, yeah, I think the ball form looks really, really neat. Of course, personally in the show, I hated Dragonoid's last evolution because I thought it looked terrible. I still think it looks terrible, but its little toy form looks really neat. So, the final evolution introduced to Dragonoid is called Fusion Dragonoid. It's probably one of the most articulated Dragonoids I've seen yet. Put it back to another support item and it becomes a new state. Well, technically there was one for Mechanism Surge, but I don't own it because I refuse to own one of them because it was one of the worst things I had seen related to Backagon personally. But this was the thing that came with it. So, but here's Fusion Dragonoid. It was the last evolution in the original run of the show. I think the ball form is really nice though. So, for what it's worth. Let's see. Now, of course, we have our main Dragonoid that we watched throughout the series, and we watched him evolve and grow throughout the show. But there were other Dragonoid variants that you would find as well. This is one of the enemy Dragonoids that you would meet called Iron Dragonoid. This one admittingly was very unique because he actually has a solid steel coating on the bottom half of him. This makes him, of course, very, very heavy and makes for some very interesting roles when you try to use him in battle. So the solid steel part, I think was really cool. But when he pops open, he looks just a little dirty. So we pop him open like this. He starts off looking like this, a little strange. I believe, if I remember. Yep, you push up his head and his neck goes out like this. And I, to this day, have no idea why they did this. This was really weird. Granted, just looking at him, to me anyways, looking at him from this angle just makes him look a little silly, but still an interesting concept nonetheless. And the last Backagon I have that came from season 4 for Mechanism Surge is a very infamous Backagon. I actually don't even remember this thing's name, but what I do remember about him is he's called a Bakugan Skyraider. This is one of the weirdest things that they tried to do, in my opinion. The Skyraider has spring-loaded feet. So what happens is when you put him on a card, he will launch up into the air. The goal was, I believe, once you drop it onto the card and it jumps, you have to try and get it to land on another card. But this never worked. It was a very poorly implemented mechanic, which I'll show you what happens when you use one. That was a short jump for him. Sometimes I've had him go across the room, but you know. But here's what he looks like, by the way. He's a sort of mech knight, I believe. So, interesting design, though. All right. So I believe, yep, that is everything from the original lineup, minus a few miscellaneous things. So I'll just quickly go through the miscellaneous stuff. Because Backagon, of course, Backagon themselves, they had a lot of really weird things that they tried to do to sell more toys, of course. So in season 1, they had the Backagon launcher. Now, this was a wrist launcher, so you would stick it on your wrist, and the key was you'd pull back this lever, and when you release it, it would shoot out the Backagon onto its card. Does it work as a launcher? Technically, yes, but it doesn't actually get the Backagon on the card. So, but hey, it works as a nice little display piece, and I have 2 nice little pearl Backagon inside. This is a Subterra Hyperdragonoid, and here is an Aquos Delta Dragonoid, which I personally think is just beautiful. But yeah, if you guys want to see me use the launcher, just let me know. I'll probably make like a little 5-second video to see me, so you can watch me fail miserably at using it on Twitter or something like that. So, but let's see. Next one was yes, of course. Let's get into the big boys. Why don't we? This is called a Backagon. So Backagon are more or less the exact same as the regular size Backagon. They're just really, really big. Again, there's no purpose to it, but they did make very fun collector items too. This is from season 3. I do not remember his name from the top of my head, but he's from season 3. A lot of people found him to be very interesting. So here we go. There we are. And just to give you guys an idea as to how strange, at least this one in particular is, this Backagon shares the same mechanics as its smaller counterpart. So what happens is if we pull down his tail, then his wings. Oh boy, there he goes. His neck pops out like this. You're gonna call him Mocha. I mean, why not, you know? But this is actually the type of creature. This is the same one that you would also see in the show. So it was a Subterra one. But yeah, he was honestly, in my opinion, a very nice looking Backagon, just because it still shares all the same mechanics that its regular little counterpart does. So, but yeah, let's see. Wait, Avior. That's what his name was. His name was Avior. So yeah, this is a Subterra Avior from season 3, or a Deca version at least. I do have more Deca Backagon. I will show you guys those as I get to it, because these other ones are tied to the reboot. So, but now we're going to get into, let's see. All right. So, of course, I showed you Dragonoid from the reboot, Darkest Dragonoid. But we do have some other ones. But what's interesting was when they debuted with the reboot, they started with 2 different kinds of Backagon. there is Core Backagon, which is a sort of a nice little nostalgic callback to the original lineup. They had a very basic and simplistic design. But then we had Ultra Backagon. Ultra Backagon are extremely complex little balls that don't have the magnet plates on the bottom. Instead, they have the magnet plates on really whatever part of the body they wanted to. So this is a Ultra Dragonoid. Look, there he goes. So there's a little gimmick to it that when you pop them open, they're supposed to flip onto their feet, but I could never really get it to work. But here is a Pyrus Ultra Dragonoid from Season 1 of the Reboot series. Has very, very nice colors on the wings, honestly. I think that's very nice. You don't normally see the bright orange, the main color, so it's very neat. And then, of course, it's the opposite on the top side of the wings. So yeah. The green center, yeah. The green center on its front is actually a reference to Drago from the original show. When Drago first appeared in season 2, in the show anyways, he would have a little crystal on his chest that allowed him to gain extra power, and he would continue to have that crystal ever since. So they brought it back as a bit of a reference in the new series, which I thought was really nice. Let me see. Who else is there? So this is just stuff from Season 1 of the reboot. Now we have, we're just going to go right into, actually, no, why not? Let's just get the big guy. Let's just get the big guy out for the remake. This is honestly, so far, it's the largest Backagon that I own, by far. This is Dragonoid Maximus. This is him all closed up, but he comes with a Titan Dragonoid, one of the evolved Dragonoids in the new series. Okay, we'll go on like this. This is a fair warning. He's probably going to be very, very loud when he opens, so just be ready for that. Maybe. Okay, there we go. Big angry dragon. This is Dragonoid, this is Dragonoid Maximus for the new series. Very large action figure, more or less. It scares me. Yeah. He does for a little bit, doesn't he? There's actually a new one for the next season of the reboot as well. I haven't gotten it yet. I haven't gotten around to picking one up yet, but eventually I will. Oh, no worries. I'll see. No worries. You'll probably see more stuff on my Twitter. So see you later. All right. I'm gonna move him over for a bit. All right, we're just gonna finish up a few more things, and I'll wrap up the stream. Okay, so I'll just jump right into. See you, Quill. Don't worry. Okay. But here we'll just go ahead and start. We'll go and start with the Backagon from the next season of the reboot. So one thing I have to point out very quickly is when they debuted the new series, they removed the Subterra attribute entirely. You can't find Subterra Backagon anymore. They instead replaced it with these, the Auralus Backagon. These are golden Backagon that have very, very high power, but you can't use any bonuses on them. So they're interesting, I think. This one, for example, this is an Aurelus Cyrus. It's a beautiful feathered dragon, and I quite like its design a lot. It's just very, very pretty. And I'll just go right into, yeah. And then, of course, the newest season, so far anyways, the newest season has introduced a brand new concept called Fused Backagon. This is literally about, Backagon combined into one. So it has two attributes. This one is Chaos and Aurelus. So this is Pegatrix and Gillitor. It's personally one of the prettiest Backagon I've seen so far, so I do quite like it. Very, very pretty. All right, and I'll go ahead and bring out I'll bring out the last of the Decas. Why not? So the Decas in the new series are pretty similar to the ones from the original show. Massive in size, and they're basically the exact same as their regular small counterparts. These guys have even stronger magnets, though. And for the two I'm going to show here, they're called Diamond Backagon. These are extremely rare collector Backagon. So they have this beautiful, clear plastic with the colored accents on them. So, but this is a Diamond Dragonoid from the reboot series. He's very pretty. Very pretty, and yes, they're huge. They're giants. Speaking of giants, I also have one of the newest Backagon. It also happens to be a diamond. This is, maybe, here's your magnet, buddy. There he is. This is a Diamond Dragonoid and Treaderous. So this is a fused Dragonoid. So he's got some big arms. He's even bigger than the Diamond Dragonoid. So he's very impressive. The last Deca Backagon I have is actually tied to what will be the next season of the reboot. The next season is going to be called Geogon Rising, and at least here we have, well, it's kind of the return of Backagon, really. These guys are called Geogon this time, though. So they're, again, Backagon that are anything but a sphere. And yes, they're releasing Deca versions. I don't have the smaller version with me, but here's the Deca version. This is Viperagon. It's basically a two-headed serpenoid dragon. So I quite like them a lot. All right. And I believe there's one more thing I'm gonna do before I get started with the big finale. So I'll just go ahead and show off my Diamond Backagon. I'll just run through them super quick. I got them all in my little case right here. So we'll just run through them quickly. Here's a Diamond Aqua Pyrus. Just gonna set him over here. Here we have a Diamond Serpentines, also Aquos. I like this one a lot. It's very, very pretty. Here we have a Diamond Scorpiros, small, darkest scorpion Backagon. That is, yeah. Here is a Diamond Trux Ultra. So if you like the T-Rex, then you definitely would like this little guy. But that's the Diamond. Oh goodness. Here we have one of my personal favorite Diamond Backagon. This is a Diamond Dragonoid. In my opinion, he's just one of the prettiest diamonds we've made so far. So I quite like him a lot. Here we have a Diamond Dragonoid from the newer season of the reboot. Very beautiful, beautiful red accents on him. So he's very, very pretty. And the last of the diamonds I have is, of course, I have the regular version of Diamond Dragonoid and Pyrus. So I have both the regular and the Deco versions of him. So, yeah. It's been a bit of a collection recently. All right. Oh yes, and of course I should point out I do have a Diamond Hyperdragonoid. However, if you note when you notice in the box, this is actually a misprint, which makes him probably one of the rarest anyways out there. So I keep him in a box for that. I keep him in the box for that reason. And of course, my last one is this is a Backagon from way back in season 1, but I figured I'd show him here. This is a prototype of the original Dragonoid. Not many of these are made. You know, you can, if you're lucky, you can find some of them. You can find some of these prototypes online, but you know, they lack any sort of paint, and they even have their magnets exposed entirely. But yeah, this little guy's probably my pride and joy in terms of the collection. So, yep. All right. Now we'll just get into probably the stuff you guys have been waiting for more than anything. Because I have recently reached 60 subscribers on my channel. Thank you so much for that. I've also reached 70 followers on Twitter as well, which is a number I never thought I'd actually get. I never thought I'd ever be able to get to, just online in general. So to commemorate that, I'm going to be starting a giveaway. For this giveaway, I will be giving away 3 Diamond Backagon. So here we have a Diamond Trox. Move these guys out of the way real quick. Here we have a Diamond Trox Ultra. We have a Diamond Dragonoid. And we have a Diamond Dragonoid and Pyrus Fusion. These will be the top 3 prizes for the giveaway when you enter. I also have a runner-up prize though. So 3 lucky winners will receive a Diamond Backagon, and 1 runner-up will receive their own starter deck. So inside of this box has 3 Backagon, 40 cards, and the appropriate cards for you to start, your own game of Backagon. So yeah, I'll post more pictures of these online. But of course, first we'll just get into the rules real quick. And for the contest, all you have to do is subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you know when the announcement comes up. And you also have to make sure that you leave a like and comment what your favorite Backagon is. It can be any Backagon from the original series, from the new series. It doesn't really matter. I just want to know, what's your favorite Backagon? What was your favorite little monster that you got to see growing up as a little kid, or what's one of your newest favorites? Basically just subscribe, like, comment what your favorite Pokemon is, and you'll be entered into my contest or my giveaway. I'll post the rules again on my in the description after the stream is done. And I will also post the rules on my Twitter and my Discord, which I will also link in the description. The giveaway will end in about 2 weeks. By then I will announce who the lucky winners are. So, with that all being said, just thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for 60 subscribers. I really wouldn't be where I am right now if it weren't for you guys. And honestly, I owe you guys so much for all of this. It's because of you guys I can do some of the stuff that I really love, and I can share, not just fun stuff like my Paganoid, but I can share even things like, my horror stories that I love writing. So I really am so grateful for all that you guys have given me. So my emotional ramblings aside, I'm going to wrap things up here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be on the lookout for both the rules to go up online, as well as the final announcement when the giveaway is complete. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.